Hey guys, welcome to Omega Project Gaming. I won't waste your time, let's dive straight into the build. This is designed for Vet Maelstrom and usable with modifications on any class. No trial sets, easy monster sets, and even almost completely craftable. High resistances with good sustain too. Real quick, let's take a look at the stats. Sitting near 35k magic, 16 to 20k health depending on your enchants, and decent stamina pool and great magic recovery. Fully buffed, your spell damage hits around 3100, and it has pretty high resistances for a 5-piece set of light armor. Some considerations for this build are having double Bloody Mara to reduce your vampirism prior to round 8. Otherwise you can run spring-loaded infusion for a bit more stamina, and if you feel like you need even more recovery, there's always Witch Mothers. But it'll definitely hurt your health and magic pools. Here I'm going to pop a couple different types of food so that you guys can see what the numbers look like for your own comparison. Make your own determination what you're comfortable with running. This is also a good chance to note that Degeneration will give you your major sorcery buff, so trash magic pots, tri-stat pots, or even speed pots if you want can be used. Really, it's personal preference. Okay, now let's move into the sets. For the monster pieces, you want one piece with a 1-piece max magic bonus, and the other a 1-piece armor bonus. Preferably heavy reinforced head and a light divine shoulder if you can. The first set's going to be the craftable set, Armor of the Seducer. Seducer is going to give you a 5-set bonus of reduced cost of magic abilities by 10%. Run a heavy chest piece and infused, and the second set's going to be Burning Spellweave. All 3 jewelry should either be crafted or transmuted to infused with spell damage glyphs on each of them. You can see here I did 2 Seducer and 1 Spellweave. Burning Spellweave Inferno Staff on your front bar. It's actually fairly easy to farm using the chest farming technique that I'll post up later. For your back bar, you don't need a Maelstrom Inferno Staff. You can run any other staff. Once you get the Maelstrom one, it is up in DPS though, so it's worth farming for it. We'll move into champion points. Your priorities for your champion points from first to last are going to be Arcanist, Tenacity, and Tumbling. Once you move over to the blue tree, Elemental Expert, then Elfborn, then Master at Arms, and finally Thaumaturge for the blue tree. Defensively, Ironclad first, an even mix of Hardy and Elemental Defender, and a few points in Thick Skin should keep you from a WTF moment. Let's move into the skills. Specific to this magicDK build, on our front bar we run Burning Embers. It's your spammable with a heal. Engulfing Flames for the extra damage with flame abilities, and Molten Lips so you passively boost your spell damage. Then we run Flames of Oblivion. However, I highly recommend running Cauterize instead for the survivability added by keeping that buff up passively. The burst heals are just incredible. Finally, Protective Scale. More preferably to Dragonfire Scale to return damage to the attackers. Keeping Cauterize and Dragonfire Scale buffed means you can really just focus on DPSing targets while passively having a safety bubble kind of around you. For your front bar ultimate, you can run Shooting Star if you want a little extra magic recovery from Mage's Guild passives, but I recommend running the Destro ultimate, Elemental Rage, for the extra damage for having a Flame Staff equipped, as well as it costs a little more, which as a DK is pretty important for resource return. On your back bar you'll run Unstable Wall and Eruption as your primary dots. For a slight boost to survival you could run Cinderstorm, but the heal over time really isn't worth the loss in DPS that skill gives you. Degeneration will keep your major sorcery buff as well as apply pretty decent dot damage, or a pretty decent dot. And then Spiked Armor morphed into Hardened Armor for a slight damage shield, or preferably Volatile Armor for the extra dot damage. It's pretty noticeable over time. The resistance boost from this buff is the same regardless. And finally, Harness Magicka. While the other morph is a stronger shield, Harness helps our sustain way too much to pass up. And last but not least, Standard of Might. While shifting standard lasts 9 seconds longer, standard might boost your damage and reduce damage taken by 15%. As a DK, that more expensive alt, you want them regardless, so you can return a lot more resources per your class passives. So that's the Magicka DK build for Flawless Run. You can run this on any class, you just gotta modify the skills and kind of shape it to your advantages. Feel free to leave questions or comments below, and be sure to like and subscribe for upcoming content in this and other games.